Out of these troubled times, our fifth objective, a new world order can emerge, a new era.
It's a new world order. The Bush Boys coming. Check it.
Well, hey, how's it going for 'em? Great to have your company once again. I hope everybody's had a very solemn and dignified Ramadan and, of course, enjoying the fruits and benefits and having a fun time in this Eid al-Fitr of 2010. Well, hey, guess what? For the 9th anniversary of the September 11 attacks, that's right, the attacks done by the Zionist Mossad, by deception, they waged war not only on the world, but they waged war in Iraq. They waged war in Afghanistan by deception. And they continue to wage war across the world by deception. Well, it's time now to stop that deception. Let's now expose everything that has gone on, especially from 9/11. With this Remembrance Day video, with a brief look back at some of the more interesting and, of course, controversial bits of evidence about the 9/11 attacks. So stick with me now as we take a look at some of the more damning bits of evidence.
And at that point, we were taken for another round of questioning, this time related to our allegedly being members of Mossad. The fact of the matter is, we are coming from a country that experiences terror daily. Our purpose was to document the event. Now, despite the fact that these 5 guys admitted that they were there to document the event, which already indicates that they had foreknowledge of the forthcoming event, the 5 now known as the Dancing Israelis, or the High-Fiving Israelis, were sent back to Israel on visa violations and nothing more, the FBI clearing them of any involvement whatsoever in September 11. Very curious indeed. And here we have a very interesting video from September 11. This is a very rare clip. This is an interview from England's Channel 5. It was shown live on TV once and then never again. Check out this video. This is an interview with the New York Port Authority police chief, who was apparently down at the WTC building at the time of the building's collapse. And where was he? Well, even he can't remember where he was and had to ask his advisor. Check this out, and do check the very interesting body language of these people. Now, why would he be acting so nervously, and why would he forget where he was? Could it be that he was down in the basement? It's where they found all the gold and the trucks that were being loaded? Have a listen for yourself. But make of it what you will.
We are here with a couple of guests who can give us at least some insight into what's going on there. This is Chief William Hall of the Port Authority Police of New York. As we told you earlier, the Port Authority Police have jurisdiction over the Trade Center. And also Alan Rice, who's the director of the World Trade Center. Gentlemen, if I get you just to stand like that. First of all, Chief, do we have any idea of how many people are in there?
We have no idea. Now, as you know, it was pretty much rush hour time that this took place this morning, so the numbers we don't know yet. We tried to get almost everybody out that we could early on.
After the first 2 crashes, when the planes hit the building, there was roughly about, I would say, what, an hour and 15 minutes between that and the point where the South Tower collapsed.
Give or take.
How many people you were able to get out? Do you have any idea?
We don't know. We tried to do a floor-by-floor search. New York City Police, the Fire Department, Port Authority Police, best they could, tried to get everybody out. But as you know, there were people still coming out after that building came down.
Do you have any idea how many people would normally be in the building at 8:30 or north?
This is the director of the
There are probably 10,000 people in each tower. 10,000 people in each tower would typically be in there on a normal business day. And we get about another 5,000 visitors during the course of the entire day. So by 8:30, 9 o'clock, the building should have been full.
Okay, so in other words, by 8:30 to 9, you figure the building would have been approaching full capacity with the workers. So we are talking about roughly 10,000 people.
Per tower.
Per tower. Now, at this point, obviously, you've got a situation, these towers having collapsed, that is bordering on chaotic. What's the first challenge? What are you doing at this moment? I've seen emergency workers try to go in there after the first couple crashes and come running back out. What are you trying to do now?
I guess the next step is between the chief and myself and my staff. We're going to go assess the condition and determine whether it's safe or not to send personnel into the building to continue looking and evacuating people.
Are there any emergency workers in there now?
We don't know that.
We don't know.
If they were in there now, presumably they would have been trapped in there from the earlier.
It's possible. It's possible from what we saw happen there. Yeah, very much so. We were trapped ourselves in the building, in the basement. We were, the building collapsed when we came out of that, but yes.
You were in the basement of the South Tower?
No, we were in the basement of building 5, 6.
In the basement of the South Tower?
No, we were in the basement of building 5, 6.
Okay.
Right, and I was in building 5. We had to dig our way out to get out.
You dug your way out. What was that like?
Hello? Did he just say he dug his way out of this mess?
Scary.
Scary, but I was a volunteer fireman for years, so you learn not to panic.
Well, listeners, considering they just dug their way out of the basement of WTC-6, isn't it a little strange that the guy's suit is completely spotless and their shirts are whiter than white? Everybody that I've seen from Ground Zero on 9/11 does not look as clean as these guys. Is their story starting to smell like bullshit yet?
Yeah. What was the one last thing? What do you do right now to try to get to those people? How long before you get to those people?
We're going to have to wait and make the building safe. We have our engineers here, our law department here. We're going to make the building safe, and we're going to send in rescue teams. We're already breaking the men and women up into rescue teams, and they're ready to go once the building is declared safe of what's left.
And how soon before they're back in there?
We're going to try and do this right now, and I hope soon.
Is any part of the building still standing down there? We can't really see.
I can't see either. I can see what you see. I don't know.
Well, isn't that very strange? These guys just dug their way out of WTC-6, and now he says he doesn't know. He can't see. So he doesn't even know the extent of the damage. I thought they just said they dug their way out of the basement of WTC-6. So wouldn't you think he'd have a fair idea on what kind of damage has been done down there at Ground Zero?
How much of the building is
No,
left?
that's where we're going now, to assess the condition.
All right,
So
thank you
very
We
much.
understand you have emergency work to do. We appreciate it very much taking the time out.
Now, the final clips I'm about to show you are all the reports about the fireball happening in the lobby of the WTC-1 Trade Center. The interesting thing is, because of the sky lobbies that are in the building, it is impossible for any kind of fireball to be happening from the objects striking the towers. So if the fireball wasn't from these so-called planes, where did the fireball come from? Obviously, another explosion that happened underneath the towers. This is just more and more evidence of an inside job, of bombs being planted in the WTC towers.
And all of a sudden we hear boom! I thought it was a generator that blew up in the basement. And I said to myself, oh my God, I think it's a generator. And I was going to verbalize it. When I finished saying that in my mind, I hear boom! Right on top, pretty far away. So it was a difference between coming from the basement and coming from the top. And that's, everybody started screaming. And a person comes running into the office saying, explosion, explosion, explosion. He got his hand extended, and all the skin was pulled from his under his arm, all the way to the top of the fingertips, and he was hanging on both arms. Hanging and hanging. And then I looked at his face, and he was missing parts of his face. And I said, what happened? What happened? And he said, the elevators, the elevators.
The ladies that are with me were in the World Trade Center in the first building and escaped through the lobby where they report they believe there was a bomb in the lobby.
And even the turnstile was burnt and was sticking up, and they just told us to run.
And as we were coming out, we passed the lobby. There was no lobby. So I believe the bomb hit the lobby first, and a couple of seconds in the first plane.
And all of a sudden it sounded like, I don't know where the subway is, but it sounded like a subway collision, a bomb, and it was just pounding, boom, 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 and I literally thought the subway had exploded and all the cars put the land on top of it. It was so loud.
I was entering the building on the lobby level. I was in the revolving doors when the plane hit the building.
David Dre worked in number 1 World Trade Center.
One of the elevators, I think, came crashing to the lobby level, and all this debris came flying out of it. And a fireball emerged from the elevator lobby and was coming toward me.
Bottom elevator did a glass. Flames exploded out the front of the World Trade Center. Glass flew everywhere.
So I was right there. I was down in the basement. Came down. All of a sudden, the elevator blew up. Smoke. I dragged the guy out. His skin was hanging off, and I dragged him out, and I helped him out to the ambulance.
Well, if there's one thing we've learned from all of this is how consistent the eyewitness reports are about huge explosions and bombs going off in the WTC towers. And of course, how inconsistent the official version is, and all of those who seem to be working for FEMA or the Port Authority on the day. Well, that's all for now. Thanks very much for watching this video. Please feel free to share the video around to everybody you possibly can. This kind of information is very vital. And of course, all the links to these videos and more are in the video description. So you take care, God bless, and ciao for now.
Come on.